Get to know Ella Destiny. She's an amazing fibroid fighter, life coach, and author. Ella Destiny, welcome to the Chundria Show. How are you today?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Fantastic. Let's dive on in. As we know, it's May, it's Mother's Day, it's springtime. So much is going on, and we're celebrating moms all year long. What is your favorite part about being a mother?
Nothing. God, send those kids back. No, I'm saying.
My turn.
My favorite part is when my children look at me and, they tell me, we see you, we appreciate you. Thank you for going through all of the things that you went through and still were able to raise us, because I was a single mom. And so, just being there and still pushing no matter what. So that is the greatest reward in the world, just knowing that, my kids see me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Tell me about your babies. How old are they?
Whoa, well, the youngest is
seeing
22.
You. How are the babies that are seeing you?
My youngest is 22 and my oldest will be 26 this year. Oh, yeah, and then I have 3 grandchildren. Yeah.
Okay, mama. Okay, mama. Get it, mama. All right, let's talk about this. So as an inspirational coach with your own victorious battles with fibroids, how do you encourage fearless women in their fight against fibroids? How do you encourage?
Well, not just in their fight against fibroids, but just a fight in life. I wrote a book and it's called "There's Nothing Wrong with Saying So What." And in that book, I refer to different Bible verses, and I tell people, even though you've gone through things, so what? It happened in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. And if it could happen to those people, it could happen to us. And, I tell people not to say, why me, but why not me? Who am I that I couldn't go through those things? Look at Job and what he went through. Look at the one with the issue of blood. So why didn't I go through those things? Or who am I to not go through them? And so, I just encourage people that, you can get through this. There's a God in heaven, you can get through it. And so a lot of times it's not what happened to me, but what happened for me. And because the things that did happen for me, I'm able to sit here and advocate and help women and, coach them through life and the things that they go through, because I've gone through it.
That's beautiful. It's really beautiful how you advocate for other women. Life is hard enough sometimes, and you're just trying to get it right, trying to make the best decisions for yourself and your family, but to wake up and be selfless and to think about others and how you could help them live, fulfilled, happier, healthier lives. It's just really admirable to me. So thank you for what you do for others.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about how common fibroids are, because some people may not know what fibroids are and how common they are. Can you break it down for us today?
Well, fibroids are really, really common, mostly in African-American women. Probably 80% of women, we suffer with fibroids and we don't know. Because it's something that we never talked about. In my family, when I was younger, we never talked about fibroids. We barely talked about cycles because it was taboo or it was nasty or, I don't want to talk about that. But, it's time to start having the conversations because they are common. When women think that they're having heavy cycles or they're bleeding for 10 days or longer, or they're always tired or, painful sex, we think that that's normal, and it's not normal. And so when we're going through those types of signs and symptoms, we need to get checked, because more than likely we have fibroids. And it doesn't have to be that they're large fibroids. They're different sizes. They could be inside of our uterus or on the outside. And so we really have to educate ourselves and know what's going on with our bodies and not just saying it's normal.
And so what is a fibroid? Can you
fibroid is non-cancer. It's a non-cancerous tumor that sits either, like I said, on the inside or the outside of your uterus. They vary in sizes. They could be the size of a watermelon. They could be the size of a grape, just different sizes. And they just cause a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain, a lot of bleeding, all of those things. So, but they're definitely non-cancerous and they can be treated.
Okay. And so those are the telltale signs of that something might be wrong. It might be a fibroid. It may be, you said, the size of a grapefruit, the size of a grape, mean, it varies. And so I suffer from fibroids myself, and my early signs were pain, you know, aside from my menstrual cycle, which wasn't normal. Never experienced pain, you know, aside from that week. And that's when I immediately went to go get checked up and found out. And so I'm just glad that you know, brought insight to that, just for anyone who may be watching who might have experienced that pain. You might attribute it to ovulation or, you know, cycle, or, you know, I experienced a lot of abdominal pain, especially on the left side. And, you know, and so just knowing that your body will tell you when something's wrong, and just, you know, listening for sure. So you talked to me about those early signs. Tell me about your own traumatic experience that led to your advocacy today.
So, when I was diagnosed with fibroids, they told me that I needed to have a hysterectomy. They didn't tell me that there were other options. It was just, you need to have a hysterectomy because, you know, this is just what it is. And, you know, back then I didn't know what it was. I didn't have the information that I have now. And so I went with the hysterectomy. And when they did the hysterectomy, they severed my intestines. And for 18 months, I had no idea. And so I wasn't having a normal bowel movement. I thought I was just constipated because, you know, along with the fibroids, you get low iron. So they have me on iron pills. Iron pills make you constipated. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm just not having a regular bowel movement, until one day I went to the emergency room and I vomited all over the emergency room floor. And the doctors and nurses were like, listen, you got to have surgery within the next 30 minutes or you're not going to make it. And what I found out then was that I was vomiting my bowels, and I ended up on life support for a week. So, and it just, you know, it went from there. They tried to fix it. They put a piece of mesh in my stomach to kind of fix the hole. The ring broke. It damaged my liver, my kidney. I ended up having 11 abdominal surgeries, a week on life support. I don't have a navel anymore. And I have a scar from hip to hip, like someone saw me and had. So it was really traumatic. I went through a lot, all because of fibroids and because I didn't have the information that I have now. And I didn't know that I had options.
Have you ever met, and I'm so sorry that you experienced that. Have you ever met anyone in your coaching experience, or as you meet people, other women who, you know, deal with fibroids with traumatic stories like yours?
Oh gosh, yes. People inbox me all the time. You know, they email me, they reach out to me. You know, one lady reached out and said that she had fibroids and she didn't know it at the time. And her then husband thought that she had a secret miscarriage because she bled all over the bed, like it was just blood everywhere, and it was because of fibroids. Another lady said that she had fibroids and she went in to have a hysterectomy, only to find out that they didn't do the hysterectomy at all. So women are just suffering all types of different ways. They're doing so many things to us, and that's why it's so important for me to make sure that I advocate and let us know that we have options. Ask questions. You know, what is the procedure? What options do I have? Is this absolutely necessary? How is this going to affect the rest of my life? Because not only did it affect me physically, but mentally as well, because I was married. I couldn't give my ex-husband any kids anymore. So he had a kid with somebody else. So now mentally I'm dealing with this on top of my physical pain. So it's so important for us just to educate ourselves and to know what's going on with our bodies and stand up for ourselves. Ask questions over and over and over again. The dumbest question is the question not asked.
You know what I love what you're saying is to stay informed, and also to inform others, and have these open dialogues, whether it be in your family or your friend groups. You know, I started experiencing symptoms of, you know, fibroids probably back in 2019, 2018 perhaps, but I know it's been a few years. However, fast forward to now, 3 years later, a friend of mine was dealing with some abdominal pains. And that was my suggestion, was like, hey, you may want to go to your gynecologist and just get checked out and see if it could be fibroids or cysts. Those were my experiences when I had similar symptoms. And most recently, she had the fibroids the size of a grapefruit removed from her uterus. And she's fairly young. And so they, you know, they didn't take her, she didn't have a hysterectomy to remove her uterus. But they did, you know, let her know that that was an option, but she still hopes to be a mom someday. And so just speak to just encouraging people out there to have these types of conversations. I mean, there's no limit to the ages. I mean, right? You feel like this affected you as a young girl. So have these conversations with your teen daughters, your young adult daughters, nieces, granddaughters, friends, family, etc. So if you could just encourage anyone watching to just, you know, have these types of important health conversations.
And also for the men, because the one thing that we forget about are the men in our lives, the husbands, the fathers, the brothers, the uncles, the cousins, because the men, they don't know what we're going through. And so when you are married, or, your significant other, when they want to have sex and you're tired and they're like, oh, you just don't listen, my body has gone through so much over the past 30 days. I need rest. I'm tired. My hormones are all over the place. But more importantly, how do you care for these women? How can you support them? How can you help them? A lot of times the men don't know. And so, it's our fault, or, they think that other things instead of that she's really going through something, or how can I help? Let me research. So also advocating, and just educating the men, because they need to know as well how to deal with us, how they can help us.
That is a really, really, really good point, is to not only talk about it with the women in your lives, but also the men. So I'm glad you shared that point. Absolutely. And so you're also a life coach, you're an author, a fibroid fighter. Let's talk about your coaching. Who are your ideal coaching clients?
My ideal coaching clients are people that don't know their purpose. They don't understand their purpose. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing in life. A lot of times people say, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what that something is. And so my job is to help them to find their purpose and to operate in their purpose on purpose, because we were all put here for a reason. And so just to really hone in on what that reason is. So that's my audience, and it can be male, female, man, child, boy, girl, whatever the case may be. I am all about pushing purpose. We are all here for a reason. And so helping people find out what that reason is.
Awesome. That is so beautiful. And I want to thank you for being so transparent with me today. Quick question before we go. Who do you are such an inspiration to so many people, but who inspired you? Who is your rock? Who is your person that you lean on, when times are rough, or when you might feel discouraged, or the day isn't as bright? Who do you lean to?
My son, who is my manager, it used to be my dad, but unfortunately, 2020, both of my parents were hospitalized on their 47th wedding anniversary with COVID. My mom survived, but my dad passed away. And so I take my strength and the conversations and the lessons that he taught me, and I lean on that. And also my oldest son, who is my manager, he's my right hand. He's my go-to. He is that's not going to work. We're not doing that. Are you out of your mind? That's not in the budget. So, he is that person. And God, I talk to God like he's sitting right next to me every single day. So
beautiful.
That's who I'm being on.
Ella Destiny, you are absolutely an inspiration. You are absolutely incredible. And you are absolutely a fighter in every way possible. Thank you so much for your gift to the world. If anybody wants to connect with you, they want to book you, or they just want to simply follow your journey online, what's the best way to reach you?
They can reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Coach Ella Destiny, also on Twitter. And then they can go to my website. I have a conference. It's the So What. You can sit with me. You can sit with me and have these conversations in a safe place. So they can go to my website, elladestiny.com. They can book me. They can book a consultation, or just sign up for the courses.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ella. I appreciate it.